Hi guys, welcome to Copper Flow Plumbing. So last time we were here, we looked at how to prepare your copper pipe from something like that to something like that. So we looked at the methods of cutting it, the methods of cleaning the inside out, and then preparing the outside, making sure it's nice and shiny. So today what we're going to look at is we're going to focus on how to connect it using compression fittings. So last time we looked at how to cut your pipe, how to prepare the inside and the outside ready to fitting into a system. Today we're going to look at how to fit it into a system, and we're going to be focusing on compression fittings. So this is a compression fitting. How it works basically is there's two nuts. Remove the nut and there's something that looks a bit like a wedding band. That's called an olive. If you look at the socket there, you see there's a slight taper on the inside. The olive basically sits into that. The pipe goes inside and then you tighten the nut down. So here's one we made earlier. So here's your fitting. See the tapered edge? You push your pipe, which is nice and shiny and reamed, into the socket. You slide that olive down and it sits inside that tapered bit. You then take the nut and you tighten it down. Essentially, that is how you do it. So now we shall show you how to do it properly. So the first thing I suggest you do is get your fitting, take the olive and take the nut off. Get your clean pipe and push it inside the fitting all the way to the end. You can see there, that little ridge there, that is where the pipe sits up to. So what I would suggest you do is push the pipe all the way to the end, get a pencil or a permanent marker and just draw a little mark. And that is how much of the pipe actually sits inside the socket. Okay, so now we've got our pipe, we've got our little mark where the socket sits up to. Push on the nut first. Take the olive, push that on. You then push the fitting all the way up to the little mark we've made. Push the olive down, push the nut down, and screw it up until it's finger tight. At this point, you're going to need to have two adjustable spanners. The first one goes onto the nut. The second one is going to grip the nut, because what's going to happen is as you start to apply force to this, that's going to want to turn around. So the second spanner is to hold that tight while you tighten it up. The first spanner. We're not looking for He-Man strength here. All we're looking for is to get it to where it's tight and then just give it a little extra nip. So that's it basically, as quick and easy as that is. We're not looking for ultra He-Man strength here where you're going to be crushing the pipe in the end with the olive in it. We're just looking to feel it get tight, give it a little bit extra, and that's it. However, there are a few extra little tips and tricks that we use in the trade to stop any of these leaks happening. So we'll talk about those very quickly. So the first trick we use is using PTFE tape. PTFE stands for Plumber's Tape for Everything. There is a scientific name for it, but we'll go with that one for now. So what we do is we wrap the tape around the olive. Do not wrap it around the thread. Wrapping it around the thread will do nothing. If I find out you've wrapped it around the thread, I'm going to go Liam Neeson on you and I will find you, believe you me, okay? So never around the thread, always around the olive. We're not looking for a huge amount of PTFE tape around the olive, just 2 or 3 wraps is good enough. Pull it off, wrap it around nice and tidy, put the fitting back on, then you just slide that olive into the fitting, get the nut and tighten it up. That should be enough to stop any leaks now. The other trick plumbers use when they're using compression fittings is to use a jointing compound, something like this. This is called Jet Lube V2+. If you're going to use something like this, you need to be very careful. There are 2 main types out there. There's one for use on potable water, which is drinking water. Then there's ones that you can't use on potable water. So there's a potential risk that you could contaminate the water in your house. So if you're going to use something, always try and get a potable one. That way you're never going to go wrong. So how this works is you put the nut on, you put the olive on. There's a little mark that we're going to be pushing the fitting onto. It's quite thick stuff. It's a bit like porridge, this. You just paste a little bit around where the edge of the olive's going to sit into the fitting. So that's all. Put the fitting on, slide the olive in, take the nut down, tighten up to finger tight, get your adjustables, hold the fitting, and then just tighten it up. And there we go. Get a quick wipe away the excess, and we're good. So today we've been looking at compression fittings. We've been looking at the 15mm elbow. We've looked at how it works with the olive inside, with the nut going into the little socket. But they all come in different shapes, different sizes. So this is another elbow, but this is a 10mm elbow. So this will be used on your microboard that we spoke about in the last video. This is a T, so it's again still 15mm. Still works the same process, but this time you're going to have 3 different olives and nuts to tighten up. This here is a 15mm full ball lever valve. Yes, if you look through, it's 15mm all the way through, so this doesn't actually reduce the flow of your water. But it's got the compression on the top and the bottom. This is a 15mm service valve. Again, compression on the top and the bottom, but this time the flow is reduced slightly inside. So this would probably be used on your toilet system. And then we have a lock shield for your radiator. So there's 2 different sizes here. You've got 15mm at the top, 10mm at the bottom, but again, they're both compressions. So same principle that we looked at there with the paste or the olives. So there we go. That's everything for today. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, stay with us because we're going on to lots of different things. Okay, thanks guys, take care.